Hello, and welcome to my presentation on the elicitation of emotions using film. This presentation will go through the history of this tactic, including its first use in the laboratory, what emotions are, how we can measure them, and the methods we use to elicit emotions in a laboratory setting with films. Motion film started in the 1890s with the introduction of the first motion capture cameras. Though the first emotions elicited were of amazement at what people were seeing, it wasn't until the turn of the century that filmmakers got to the point where they could use actors and editing techniques to make silent films that would provoke emotions and entertain audiences around the world. The first use of film to elicit emotions in a laboratory setting was Richard S. Lazarus' study titled A Laboratory Study of Psychological Stress Produced by a Motion Picture Film. This study was the first to prove that film could be a reliable way to elicit emotions and thus paved the way for what is now considered the most popular and reliable method of emotion elicitation in the laboratory. Emotion is a brief, subjective and conscious experience formed primarily by a psychophysiological expression, biological reactions and mental states. It is believed to be influenced by mood, temperament, personality, disposition and motivation. In the laboratory, we can measure emotion through the use of self-reported information given to us by our participants, facial movements from expressions, studying involuntary eye blinks when startled, skin conductance level, and finally heart rate, which can go up or down depending on emotions being felt by our participants. To use films to elicit emotions in the laboratory, researchers first establish a baseline measurement for comparisons while the participant watches a neutral film. When measuring techniques are set up and baseline measurements have been established, researchers have the participants watch the selected film on any kind of screen they have available. Hopefully emotions are elicited while participants watch these films. Measurements are taken while watching the film as well as after. Now the researcher can gather their collected data to analyze the effects the film had on their participants and draw their conclusions about emotions. Some films proven effective by research to reliably elicit specific emotions include Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho for the emotion of fear, Zack Snyder's 300 for excitement, or Martin Scorsese's The Departed for surprise. Given the vast supply of feature films being produced around the world and its long history of reliable use in research, it's no surprise researchers use films as their go-to technique for the elicitation of emotions in the laboratory today.
Created using Powtoon.